Rossetti Cowan Adult Center, 25 Winthrop Avenue. Deb Pesca DiGiulio is the event manager. This is an application for 2 one-day malt wine licenses. The application of the Rossetti Cowan Adult Center for 2 one-day licenses for malt and wine. Said licenses to be exercised at the same location, 25 Winthrop Avenue. The first event will be on Sunday, October 16th, 2022, from 12:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and will be a Patriots game viewing party. The second event will be on Friday, November 18th, 2022, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and will be a karaoke party. The expected attendance at both events is 80. Is there someone from Revere Rossetti Cowan Adult Center on the Zoom?
I am here.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Certainly. So, hi, I'm Debbie DiGiulio. I am the director of the Senior Center, and we are applying for these 2 licenses before the commission.
Thank you very much. Can you just explain briefly what your plans are for these licenses?
Absolutely. So the first one for Sunday, 10/16, is a Patriots game viewing party. I don't know if you guys know, but we are trying to make the Senior Center a more welcoming place, not just for seniors, but adults over any age. But and this is our first attempt. It shouldn't, they say the event's probably going to be 80 people. I doubt we will get 80 people, but we are trying to, again, make it a more welcoming, open place, hoping that people will come not just for a party and viewing, but also to come Monday through Friday. So that is the first one. The second one is a karaoke party. The seniors have kind of planned these events and think that they will bring a few people, and we just want to offer beer and wine, as well as we will have pizza. We will have some snacks on the table. It won't just be liquor. There will be food as well.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
No, I have no questions. I think it's a great idea. And Debbie, you're doing a wonderful job.
Thanks,
Good
Linda. Thank you. We'd like to see you here, Linda.
I'm going to pop in.
Okay. You too, Rob and Dan.
Thank you. I have no questions about the license. I reviewed everything, and I think everything's in order.
Thank you.
Very good. That being the case, we will close this section of the hearing and we will open it up to any proponents. Is there anybody out there that would like to speak on behalf of the issuance of these 2 licenses? Seeing and hearing none, I will close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to the issuing of these 2 one-day malt and wine licenses? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. I will open it up to a general discussion and/or an acceptance of motions. Do any of my colleagues have anything that they would like to add?
No, I have nothing. If there's no other questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
And I second that motion.
Very good. The application for 2 one-day malt wine licenses for the Rossetti Cowan Adult Center is approved. The applications will be exercised at the same location. The first event will be on Sunday, October 16th, 2022, from 12:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and will be a Patriots game viewing party. The second event will be on Friday, November 18th, 2022, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and will be a karaoke party. Thank you very much for your application, and it is approved.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good luck with the events.
Thank you.
Item number 2, Blessed Mother of the Morning Star Parish at St. Mary's Church, 670 Washington Avenue. Ralph DeChico is the event manager. This is an application for a one-day malt wine common victular and entertainment license. The application of Blessed Mother of the Morning Star Parish at St. Mary's Church for a one-day license for malt wine, common victular and entertainment, said license to be exercised at St. Mary's Church, 670 Washington Avenue, on Saturday, October 15th, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. The event is a spaghetti supper hosted by the Holy Name Society. The expected attendance is 80. Is there someone here from the Blessed Mother of the Morning Star Parish at St. Mary's Church?
Yes, good morning. Named Ralph DeChico, 49 Washington Street, Vice President of the St. Mary's Holy Name Society.
Thank you very much, Mr. DeChico. Nice to see you. I would like to ask you what you plan to do with this event and the license.
Yep, what it is we've been starting to bring back some of our events for the parishioners. It's a spaghetti supper that's hosted by the St. Mary's Holy Name Society. So we have it for the parishioners. We have approximately 80 parishioners that will come. We will have a spaghetti dinner. We will have a DJ entertainment for them, and we're looking to have beer and wine on the premises for sale.
Very good. Thank you very much. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions. I've been there before at these suppers, and it's a great night for everyone. So no, I have no questions.
Very good. Commissioner Ochina?
No, I don't have any questions either.
Thank you very much. I will close this section of the hearing, and I will open up to any proponents. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of the Blessed Mother of the Morning Star Parish at St. Mary's Church and their application for this one-day malt wine, common victular, and entertainment license? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close this section and open it up to any opponents. Is there anybody opposed to the issuance of this one-day malt wine, common victular, and entertainment license? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that section and open it up to a discussion and or motion from my colleagues. Does anybody have anything they'd like to ask or anything they'd like to add?
Again, I have no questions, and if there's no other questions, I would make a motion to approve.
And I second that motion.
Very good. The application for a one-day malt wine, common victular, and entertainment license for the Blessed Mother of the Morning Star Parish at St. Mary's Church is approved. The license will be exercised at 670 Washington Avenue on Saturday, October 15th, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. for a spaghetti supper hosted by the Holy Name Society. Thank you very much, Mr. DeChico. Good luck with your event.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Item number 3, Impact U Foundation, Inc., Harry Della Russo Stadium, Esteban Higueta Perez, the events manager. This also is an application for a one-day malt wine, common victular, and entertainment license. The application of Impact U Foundation, Inc., for the one-day license of malt wine, common victular, and entertainment to be exercised at Harry Della Russo Stadium on Sunday, September 25th, 2022, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The event is a Colombian soccer party fundraiser. The expected attendance is 500. Is there someone here from Impact U Foundation?
Yes, sir. My name is Esteban from 25 Sigourney Street in Riviera.
Very good, sir. Can you explain to us what your plans are for these licenses?
Sure. Our plan is to sell. We're planning to do a soccer match. We have a couple of famous soccer players that are joining our cause. So the idea is to be able to sell beer to the attendees.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions.
I have a couple. So you're expecting about 500 people to attend this event?
Yes, sir. That's the idea. That's the
Uh,
goal.
That's well. Thank you. Do you intend to have any form of security or any type of personnel to manage the flow of the event?
Yes, sir. We actually have the support with the city, and we're going to be having about 6 police officers, 2 fire person, an ambulance. We are about 50 volunteers that will be there. We have a security plan in place that we already shared with the police officers in the fire department. Um, yes, we have this. We have been trying to cover all the little details in regards to security and the management of the event.
Awesome. That's all the questions I have.
Very good. Thank you very much. I don't have any questions. I reviewed the packet and it looks very comprehensive. It seems as if you've dealt with all of these situations that we would have questions of. So we would close this section of the hearing and open it up to any proponents. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of the issuance of the malt wine common victular and entertainment license for Impact U Foundation, Inc.? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Is there anybody opposed to the issuance of the license to Impact U Foundation, Inc.? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section.
Mr. Chairman, I just had a question.
Yes,
We had gotten information earlier that they were expecting more like 2,000 people at the event, and now I see 500. Has something changed, or is this something we should be aware of?
No. So our application, so we know the capacity of the stadium is 2,000 people. So far we have sold between us a little bit less than 200 tickets. When we submit the application to Maggie, we said that most likely we were gonna get 1,000, but we don't have a lot of people coming. So most likely I hope we get more people, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna have that many.
Okay.
I would be very surprised if, I feel bad saying this, but I would be very surprised if we get to the 500. But we're trying to get everything in place just in case we get a surprise. We have enough fire department assistants and also police officers. We also got a permit from the Riviera High School to use their parking lot, and we're trying to be ready for a surprise, but so far it doesn't look like we're gonna have as many people as we hope.
Okay. All right. If you want to get in contact with the detail office today, we'll discuss it further about the number of officers you'll need and all that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. So actually my partner Diego, he's another volunteer of the foundation, and most likely he's the one that will contact you with he's in charge of the security details. Okay,
Yep, that's great.
thank you.
very good. Are there any other questions from any of my colleagues?
I have no further questions.
Very good. Well, I would only ask, did you say that you had 5 police officers planned now? Is that what you're saying, sir?
So as I told you, the person that is in charge of the security and talking to the police officers and the fire people, the fire department, he mentioned that he is trying to get between 5 and 6 police officers. We spoke to Mayor Arrigo, and he actually is the one that will be donating us the funds to pay for the police officers. So we're trying to get 5 to 6 in case we get a surprise and we get so many people.
Very good. All right, well, I can open up to a general discussion and or motions if my colleagues are so inclined.
No, I have no question. Just want to make sure that that the number of officers, he's saying they're asking for 5 to 6. I want to make sure that there is going to be at least a minimum of 5. And if Lieutenant Randall feels there should be more, I would kind of leave that up to him at this point. I mean, if they say with some luck, you know, you get 1,000 people, 1,500 is Lieutenant Randall. Do you think that's enough officers for that kind of crowd? And how many do we usually have when you have a crowd like that?
Well, the only time we get a crowd that big at the stadium is, you know, for the high school football games, and you know, it's a different type of crowd. But we'd be very comfortable with what with the number we've quoted them for the detail.
Okay, then I'm satisfied. This is different, as you said, a football game. You know, we're serving alcohol here to adults. So.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
As long as they have, you know, we've discussed, they seem to have an alcohol service plan in place and all that. And so the police department is satisfied as of right now.
Thank you.
Very good. Would someone like to make a motion? I would make a motion that we approve.
I'll second the motion.
On you,
Sure.
Linda.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, if you allow me, I wanted to invite you all, if you have time on this weekend, the event will be on Sunday. This is to raise funds for education, to pay for college for the young people in Colombia. So you're more than welcome if you can swing by. We'll be happy to have you there.
I'll pop by.
Thank you
Thank
very much, sir. We appreciate that. Well, we made a motion and it was second, so the application of Impact Youth Foundation, Inc. for a one-day license of malt, wine, common victular, and entertainment is approved. The said license will be exercised at Harry Delarusso Stadium on Sunday, September 25th, 2022, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And this is a Colombian soccer party fundraiser. Thank you very much, sir, and good luck with your event.
Thank you very much.
Item number 4, City of Revere Parks and Recreation, Broadway. Adriana Borriello is the event manager. This is an application for a one-day malt wine, food truck, and entertainment license. The application of the City of Revere Parks and Recreation for a one-day license for malt wine, food truck, and entertainment. Said license to be exercised on Broadway between Pleasant Street and Cheever Street on Saturday, September 24th, 2022, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And this will be the annual Fall Festival. The expected attendance is to be 500 plus. Is there someone speaking here on behalf of the Revere Parks and Recreation?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Michael Hinojosa, 37 Amelia Place. I am the Director of Parks and Recreation.
Very good. Mr. Hinojosa, familiar with the event? If you could just explain it briefly, and we'll move along.
Sure. So this is our annual Fall Festival. We're going to close down Broadway between Pleasant and Cheever Street. It's exactly what it is, a fall festival. We're going to have a beer garden, some live music, inflatables, We have 30+ vendors coming, photo booth, food truck. Just a little celebration, the roll falling.
Very good. Thank you very much for the explanation. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions. It's another great time for the city Revere. Revere keeps going, which is great for everyone. This one particularly is wonderful. People can come see our shops on Broadway. It's a great time. I've attended it before, so I'm very pleased to hear you're having it again. So I have no questions.
Very good. Commissioner Ochina, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
No, I don't. Neither, and I'm looking forward to it as well. I've heard great things about this. I haven't been able to attend it before, but I will be coming on the 24th to check it out. So I'm excited. So no questions.
Very good. I just had one question. Michael, the beer garden, is that going to be basically what we've done in the past as far as on the section of the lawn at the American Legion?
That is correct. The American Legion lawn will be fenced off with security checking IDs to get in, with bracelets for people who are over age who can drink.
Very good. Thank you very much for that. We'll close this section of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of the city's Fall Festival? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Is there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to the city's annual Fall Festival and the issuance of the malt wine, food truck, and entertainment license? We don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Do my fellow colleagues have any comments, discussions, and/or motions you'd like to make?
I'd move to approve the. I have no additional comments. Linda.
I have no other questions.
So in light of that, I'd move to approve the City of Revere's Park and Recreations application.
I'll second that motion.
Very good. Thank you very much. The application for the City of Revere one-day license for malt wine, food trucks, and entertainment is approved. The license is to be exercised on Broadway between Pleasant Street and Cheever Street on Saturday, September 24th, 2022, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And this event will be the annual Fall Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your help.
Good luck with the event. Item number 5, also the City of Revere Parks and Recreation. Also an application for a one-day malt wine, food truck, and entertainment license. This license will be exercised around City Hall and Veterans Memorial Park on October 29th, 2022, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. for a spooky stroll event. The rain date is October 30th, 2022. The event is expected to draw 500+ people. Again, someone from Revere and Parks and Recreation.
Hi, Haley Hampton here, program coordinator at the rec department.
Very good. Ms. Hampton, can you explain what this event is about?
We're gonna have a similar setup from the Fall Festival, just basically scaled down around City Hall and the Legion with a food truck, a couple of vendors, nowhere near, beer garden as well with the same IDs checked, fenced off, police detail inside. We have a violinist, and from the American Legion, we are going to be taking guided tours down to the burial ground where they'll have a little bit of a history tour, and then they'll come right on back to enjoy, the beer garden, inflatables, some of the vendors, stuff like that.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions about the Spooky Stroll event?
No, I have no questions. Again, our city offers so much to the residents. I think it's a great thing. It's a great thing for the kids. It's safe and they get to enjoy the holidays. So thank you for coming up with the spooky event.
Pleasure.
No questions.
Neither do I. I'm looking forward to the event. I reviewed the application. I reviewed all the supporting documentation that came with it. And again, I have no questions about it.
Very good. We will close that section of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody out there that would like to speak on behalf of the issuance of the malt wine, food truck and entertainment license for the Spooky Stroll? We don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Are there any opponents? Anybody opposed to the Spooky Stroll? We don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Do any of my colleagues have any discussions that you'd like to entertain or motions you'd like to make?
I would just like to encourage the residents of Revere with their children to have a very safe Halloween and join in on this evening. I think it's great for them, and without doing away with the holiday, I'm very happy that they're doing it, but I do encourage everyone to attend.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Ochina, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I don't.
Very good. Does anybody want to make a motion on whether or not to approve?
I will make a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
Very good. The application for a one-day malt wine, food truck and entertainment license for the City of Revere Parks and Recreation is approved. The license to be exercised around City Hall and Veterans Memorial Park on Saturday, October 29th, 2022. The event will be from 3:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. for a spooky stroll. And that application is approved. Thank you very much, folks. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, Suffolk Diner LLC, DBA Airport Diner at Suffolk Downs, 10 Furlong Drive. Gustavo A. Gomez is the applicant. This is an application for a change of hours. The application of Suffolk Diner, DBA Airport Diner at Suffolk Downs, for a change of hours to a 24-hour a day, everyday license. Is there someone here from Suffolk Diner LLC?
Yes, good morning. My name is Gustavo A. Gomez, 46 Butler Street in Salem, and I am the license manager.
Very good. Thank you very much for appearing. Can you explain briefly what it is that you plan to do at the Suffolk Diner?
So we currently have rather extended hours. I don't know if you were able to read our letter. We normally have a 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the weekdays and a 24-hour license on the weekends. Over the past couple of months, we've been asked to sponsor different events, like concerts over the weekend. Some of the concerts on the Oceanside Event Center in the Wonderland ballroom area. We've become really good friends with a lot of the producers that are able to make those events happen. We essentially have been asked to sponsor some of those, and over the Friday and Saturday days, we've been able to be part of that. And what happens regularly is they put up our name, put up our board when the event is happening or after the event. A lot of the attendees of these concerts are invited back to eat at the restaurant and to come by the restaurant to eat, because we're not just the diner part of it. Essentially after 3 p.m. every day, we switch over to a Colombian fast food. So it's a lot of the fast food, junk food that normally people have after they go out to these events. The reason for our request is because more of these events are happening outside of Friday and Saturday. They've been happening on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. And we would like to be part of that. We would like to be able to take up these advertisement and opportunities and place our name on these boards and in those events. And part of the reason why we wanted to do that is because we've shown that we've had a good track record on managing our current hours. We've never had any events where the police have to get called. We've never had any violations to our current hours. And it seems to us that we've been able to manage those hours well, which is why we asked that to extend them. We wouldn't necessarily be working 7 days a week, 24 hours. We don't have the kind of staff for that. I don't think we have the business for that either. But is a more of a way for us when the events and the opportunities present themselves to be able to take them and to be able to do so the legal way. About 3 weeks ago, maybe a little more than that, we were part of an event that Maggie was able to put on the agenda for last month, I believe it was, or the month before that. And it went really well. It was on a Thursday. We managed it really well after our concert. We had a good number of people, really good sales, and we were able to take advantage of that. So thank you, by the way, for approving that. And we would like the opportunity to do some more of those events and to be able to have that kind of advertisement.
I understand completely. Thank you very much for the explanation. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any comments and/or questions of Mr. Gomez?
Well, I've gone to the diner and it's very nice. You have a very nice place there. And I do see you're not abutting any neighborhood to the best of my recollection. Are you?
We are in a very commercial area, that's for
Right.
sure.
And there is no abutters there. Yeah, I mean, you've tested it and to see how it's going, I think it's a good idea, but I wonder about any traffic that it might bring through the streets in 24 hours. Although we do have another breakfast place that does have 24 hours and we don't seem to have a problem there.
And we have our 24-hour license on the weekends.
Right.
And we are normally open till 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights.
So
we
you
don't-
11, and you open at what time in the morning?
We're opening at 8, and that changed during the pandemic. We are actually in talks of opening back at 6 a.m.
At 6 a.m. So you're asking for an additional 5-6 hours? Is that what we're looking at here?
Pretty much. We have a license from 5 a.m. every day, from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. from Monday to Thursday.
Okay. So we're talking about 5-6 hours.
Yes.
You're looking for additional. And you're saying it won't be 7 days a week. It's just that you would like
It's
to
just-
be able to, in case of events.
Yes, exactly. I don't think we have the staff for that. I don't think we have the business for an everyday thing unless it becomes that way, but I highly doubt it. Like the other part of that, we're not, like you mentioned, the neighborhood. We are not in a foot traffic area. We highly depend on people driving here because of where we are. The traffic here moves rather slow, so we don't see any issue of I don't think we'll see any issue of driving or of heavy traffic. But normally during the weekends we don't see that happening. There are car dealership, car repair shops that are next to us. There is a demolition area that's a demolition company that's next to us. And they normally are done at 4 or 5 p.m. actually. So we have enough parking available for patrons when they come around.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Ochina, do you have anything you'd like to inquire about?
No, I think Linda certainly inquired about the concerns that I had, and the gentleman on the screen certainly addressed, Mr. Gomez certainly addressed my concerns. So I have no questions for him specifically.
Very good. Lieutenant Randall, is there something that we ought to be considering on this 24-hour situation here?
I checked the logs for the last several months, and we have received no calls, no complaints at that location at any time, let alone during the weekend, 24 hours.
Very good. Thank you very much. I would just like to add that as far as 24-hour businesses go, I think this is probably a perfect location for a 24-hour business. There are no residences around. It's very industrial and very commercial area with ample parking. So, I mean, those factors kind of seem to work in the favor of the license. Thank you very much for the discussion. I forget, did I open it up to proponents? I'll close this section of the hearing. Are there any proponents or anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of the 24-hour license for the Suffolk Diner? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close this section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to the issuance of this license? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Open it up again to a general discussion and/or motions, if my colleagues are so inclined.
Provided no one has any additional questions, I'd move to approve the application of the Suffolk Diner for a change of hours from their current hours to 24 hours per day, every day license.
I'll second that motion.
Very good. The application for a change of hours for Suffolk Diner, LLC, DBA Airport Diner at Suffolk Downs, 10 Furlong Drive is approved. The change to a 24-hour a day, everyday license is approved. Thank you very much, Mr. Gomez. Good luck.
Thank you very much, everyone, and I hope to see you around here more often.
Thank you. You get a good spot there. I like it.
You're welcome anytime. You find me in the kitchen on Friday and Saturday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Very good. Well, good luck with that. I hope it goes well for you.
Thank you.
The next item will be item number 7. Pramukh Raj Gas Station, Inc., DBA Joe's Market. This is at 338 Squire Road. Dhruv E. Patel is the manager. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, sir. The application for a transfer of an all alcohol package store license and pledge of license in inventory. The application of Pramukh Raj Gas Station, Inc., DBA Joe's Market, from a transfer of an all alcohol package store license from Northgate Partners, LLC. Said license to be exercised at 338 Squire Road, Revere, and a pledge of license and inventory to Rockland Trust. Is there someone here from Pramukh Raj Gas Station?
Yes, there is, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Attorney Tom Truax of Salem, Massachusetts, appearing on behalf of the proposed transferee, Pramukh Raj Gas Station, Inc.
Very good, Counselor. Can you explain briefly what your plans are for this all alcohol package store license transfer?
Sure. I believe on the Zoom are the two principals of the corporation. That's Jagdish Bahai Patel, who is the president and treasurer of the corporation. And then we have Drew Patel, who is the secretary of the corporation. He's also the proposed license manager. And both Mr. Patels are the shareholders of the corporation. While the underlying transaction is not a small one, it is a fairly large financial investment. It is fairly straightforward. The purchase of both the real estate and the business, including the Section 50 package for all alcoholic. Rockland Trust as the lender on providing financing, and as a condition of the approval of the loan, they are requesting that they approve the pledge of the license of the inventory. As for experience, Mr. Jagdish Patel comes before you with over 22 years of package store experience. He has managed the mobile gas station, which is a package store, similar package store to the current one at 1460 Middlesex Street in Lowell. And he has about 15 years, about 7 years there, and about 15 years managing a package store in East Boston called Maverick Street Market. He is also a part owner of Jimmy's Liquors, which is a full liquor store in Lynn, Massachusetts. And I am informed that there have been no violations at any of those stores, so it's your clean track record. Now, Mr. Drew Patel before you with approximately 5 years of part-time package store experience. He has been working weekends. He turned 21, and so for the past 5 years, he's been working weekends at the package store at Middlesex Street in Lowell. He is also beverage alcohol training certified, BAT certified by the Massachusetts Package Store Owners Association. As for the operation of the store, Joe's Market, it will continue to operate as it has in the past. We're going to be maintaining continuity there, same store hours, same liquor store hours. After 11 p.m., the store will continue to lock up. They lock up the areas for the beer and wine and the liquor, so that no customers have any access to those after the 11 o'clock. All current employees will be retained, so there will be continuity with the employees. The same point of sale system will be in use, which automatically asks for an age identification whenever there's a purchase of alcohol, a beer or wine, and it scans all licenses. So therefore, it should be an addiction from the old owners to the new owners, and we would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Council. We appreciate that comprehensive presentation. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have a couple of questions. I'm very familiar with the business. It's a great business. We have a lot going on there. Is Dunkin' Donuts going to still remain in the building also?
Yes, they will.
They will. And I guess my other concern is, you did touch upon it, are the employees. The employees have been there for a number of years, and they're very concerned, obviously. So
they're staying.
What kind of guarantee they have that you're going to keep them?
Yeah, I deal with a lot of convenience store, gas station clients and small business owners. They all have the same issue of retaining employees. So this is a 24-hour station, as I understand it. They want their employees, and they're going to keep all their employees. Simple as that.
Well, I really appreciate that. I've gone over the application, and I'm satisfied. You've answered all my questions, but the employees, I guess, were very important to me. They're Revere residents, been there for many years, and I would like to see them retained. I'm not that I can tell them to, but it would be greatly appreciated. I have no other questions.
Thank you very much.
And I'm satisfied with council's representation, thorough representation, and summation of the facts before us. So I have no further questions, and I would certainly vote to approve when we get to that point.
Very good. Well, we'll close this section of the hearing and open it up to any other proponents. Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of the application for transfer of this all alcohol package store license? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to the transfer of this all alcohol package store license and pledge of license and inventory? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Do my colleagues have any additional comments and or motions you'd like to make?
I don't, and if my fellow commissioner Granasso doesn't either, I'd vote and move to approve the application.
I'll second that motion.
Very good. Thank you very much. The application for a transfer of an all alcohol package store license and pledge of license and inventory is approved. The application of Pramuk Raj Gas Station, Inc., DBA Joe's Market, for the transfer of this all alcohol package store license will be exercised at 338 Squire Road, Revere, Mass., and a pledge of the license and inventory will be made to Rockland Trust. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with the business. Item number 8, Capri LLC, DBA Capri, 1559 North Shore Road. Claudia Gallego is the manager. This is an application for an all alcohol restaurant license. The application of Capri LLC, DBA Capri, for an all alcohol license to be exercised at 1559 North Shore Road, Revere. The requested hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. The requested seating is 19. Is there someone here from Capri LLC?
Yes. Hello, Commissioner. I am Justin Kissel. I'm counsel to Capri LLC and Claudia Gallego, the owner of Capri LLC. And I work at D'Ambrosio LLP at 14 Proctor Ave, Revere.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Can you explain briefly what the applicant would like to do with this all alcohol restaurant license?
Yeah, sure. So Claudia's basic vision behind this restaurant is to offer a fusion of American and Colombian cuisine for a couple reasons. She'd like to appeal to the growing Latin American, specifically Colombian group in Revere, and she'd like to appeal to a lot of the people moving into the new developing area on Revere Beach Boulevard and Ocean Ave. So the reason she's applying for an all alcohol license is to sort of supply liquor, beers, wines as accents to these type of meals and cuisines.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions of the counselor or the applicant?
Yes, just for the viewing audience, can you tell us the exact location as to North Shore Road?
Yes, it's at 1559 North Shore Road.
Yes, but the location, is that North Shore Road, Calumet Street?
I believe it's at the intersection of Dehon Street, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So it's at Dehon Street.
Oh, Dehon, yes, yes.
Okay. And you're only looking for 19 seating there, is that correct?
So that is a little off. We've been talking to Louis Cavarno about increasing the seating capacity. He sent me an email that, so we wanted 50. He originally approved it for 19. So we got an architect to write up a plan and send it to his approval. He sent me a preliminary email saying that he was going to approve it for 50. We have yet to get a formal letter, but Maggie Haney is, I've let her know that he has approved it for 50, at least via email, so.
Okay, so if it were approved today, it's going to be approved for 19 seats.
Okay,
I think they can go up to 50 though. Maggie, I don't know if Maggie wants to chime in on that. Because are you seeking 19 or are you seeking 50?
we're seeking 50, but for now it's approved for 19.
The, excuse me, yes, the building inspect, they did submit revised architect drawings, and the building inspector did allow for an occupancy of 50 in the seating area. So if you wish to approve 50, you do have that option.
That's what
Well, the question I have, it's been advertised for 19 seats, 19 seatings for this meeting. And that's a problem I've had. I've gotten several calls. And some people are saying, well, he's putting 50 seats in there. And of course, I went by my agenda and I said, no, it's 19 seats. So I don't know if that has to be re-advertised to go from 19 to 50 seats at this time. But I'll hear what my other colleagues have to say. I know there was a little concern about the 50, so for me to look at now just saying, I came to the meeting for 19 seating, which I don't see a problem. But for those residents that I have said it's only 19, it kind of puts me in a position today. So I would like to hear what my other colleagues have to say.
I believe we received the opposition, Maggie, right? Oh, well,
Yes, you did receive a letter of opposition. It's in your file.
right.
And excuse me, was that opposition on the 19 or the 50?
Well, the opposition itself is relative to just the use of the alcohol. It's not necessarily about the people. It's not about the amount of people. I think the opposition that from the neighbors immediately behind this this location is mainly concerned about either drunken patrons leaving and kind of wandering back towards their property or causing a disturbance in light of whatever drinking and noise complaints, etc. So it's not necessarily relative to the amount of people that this business could potentially have, but more so the service of alcohol, it seems to me. And Maggie, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I guess I've got kind of the similar reaction.
Right.
But absolutely, there's a full liquor license right across the street from here, as we know. But I think I said they have the right to apply for this license. I said, but it's not going to be a large crowd coming in there. We've got 19 people, maybe an additional 10 cars coming in and out. I don't know. But for me to go from my word of 19, I'm looking at 19 all alcoholic beverage license to now an all alcoholic beverage license of 50. I could not vote on that today, but I still have the concerns about the alcohol license being put in that location.
Very good. Counselor, I see that your applicant has been the owner manager of something called Enfara.
Yes.
What experience does she have in the service of alcohol?
Well, Enfara is more of a bar. So in that case, she actually has a good amount of experience owning and operating a business that serves alcohol. That's a bar located in East Boston.
And where in East Boston is that located?
Near Maverick Square.
And according to the application, she's been the owner manager of that location for 12 years or 10 years?
Yes, since 2011, I believe.
Very good. I understand my colleagues' trepidation with expanding this requested seating from 19 to 50 on the fly. But I guess we'll proceed with the hearing and see where we go. Does anybody else have any other questions before I close this section and move on to proponents or opponents? I don't see or hear anybody. Will close that section. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of this application of Capri LLC for an all alcohol restaurant license?
Can I mention something? I am a Riviera Realtor and Riviera resident, and I'm a good friend of Claudia. And
Yes,
I am.
I'm sorry, excuse me one second, sir. Your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Jorge Betancourt from 54 Kimen Ave in Riviera. I am a realtor from Century 21 Mary Real Estate in Boston.
Yes,
and I was
sir.
the realtor. I was the realtor who represent Claudia to buy the building. This building has been a restaurant for the last 10 years, but it did not have a license. When she bought the restaurant, the occupancy is just 50 people. But for some reason, there was something wrong there on the capacity, according to the building department. But the occupancy that the restaurant is currently carrying is 50 people. And that was the reason why. I mean, honestly, for her to start a business with only 19 is a little bit limited. But I understand there was a misunderstanding from the amount of people that we request, and it's been advertised in the amount that is being requested in this meeting. And we had the opportunity to go a couple of times to talk to the city inspector, and as Justin just mentioned, he agreed to the 50. I just wanted to make that clarification, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Are there any other proponents? Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of this application? I don't see or hear anybody. We'll close the section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody that is opposed to the application of Capri? I don't see or hear anybody. However, I do have a letter addressed to the Reveal License Commission, which is a letter from a resident, a property owner at Dehone Street. And the resident is asking that this letter be accepted as a formal objection to Capri receiving an all alcohol license. As the homeowner of an address on Dehone Street, the letter writer says they're trying to keep themselves and their tenants in mind of what this would bring to our neighborhood. And the reasons listed for the objections are as follows. The letter writer indicates that a belief that the property could lose value. The tenants have minor children in the building. Seeing drunk people is not a good example and can also be considered dangerous to them when they play outside. Someone that is under the influence isn't always coherent and could make potentially dangerous decisions like driving under the influence or worse. The hours of operation will also cause noise complaints as the tenants have to work and go to school. And the letter writer fears that this will also bring the attention of the wrong crowd. For example, drugs and sexual workers. And for those 6 reasons, the letter writer is in total disagreement with what happens in a place where alcohol is sold and feels that other neighbors feel the same way. And they are asking the commission to thoroughly think about the decision that we're going to make and the impact it will have not only on the letter writer, but also the rest of the neighbors in the neighborhood. And it is respectfully signed, Ephraim Madrid, of a property owner on Dehone Street. I would like you to maybe address some of these. I mean, look, the issues regarding alcohol service, I assume that based upon your experience in the service of alcohol, that you're not going to be serving drunk people, that you are going to be able to monitor the control and flow of alcohol such that people are not going to be overserved. Obviously, if they are, we will have a problem, and we'll be back here revisiting some of this stuff. So, I mean, some of these complaints, I mean, they're kind of speculative and perhaps, are things that maybe you should keep in mind as you open this. Do any of my commissioners have any issues, ideas, or items you'd like to address relative to the opponent?
Well, I do hear their complaints, and I think they're legitimate. It's highly residential where this liquor license would be put. And we're looking at 10 a.m. in the morning, very early opening for alcohol, although you can serve at 11, and 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm sure they know all the rules and regulations. I'm sure they run a wonderful place there, but it's the nature of the business. We can't control everything that happens. We have wonderful restaurants in the city that have had problems. Things are not under control. We can't always see, hindsight, what's going to happen, and no matter how much we watch the patrons. So I'm very concerned. And I think this, right, that's one person. I've gotten several calls about this. And it is highly residential. It is the walkway to the school. That is the walkway. They have to go there. They have to go by that building to get home. North Shore Road is very big going to the schools. It's the only way to go to the schools. So I'm very concerned about this license, extremely concerned about 50. So the 10 a.m., the 2 a.m., I don't think they're good hours for that area. I'm inclined not to approve. If my colleagues do feel differently, I would hope that they would take into consideration the opening hours and the closing hours. And certainly the children that do live in that area, very familiar with Ward 2, very familiar with that area, and it's highly congested. I mean, you can't drive down North Shore Road when school breaks or in the morning. So I would be inclined to deny the license. And again, I would hope that my colleagues would at least look at the hours of opening and closing. Thank you.
Commissioner Ochina, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I don't, not at this time.
I'm inclined to approve the license with some conditions. I think 50 seating is kind of ambitious out the door. I'd be inclined to look at something less than 50, maybe 30 to start with, and see what that looks like. I mean, I think that the area does have other restaurants and bars in it. I understand there are periodic issues with alcohol service and with the hours and the school. I mean, I get all of that, but just because it's open doesn't mean it's going to be doing business. Obviously, if there are times when it'll be busy, and I would assume that those times are not going to be 2 o'clock in the afternoon when school's getting out. My impression is that you're looking at a weekend night kind of situation where, there is not the school children issue, there is not the other issues associated with the neighborhood. Now, that being said, there are issues relative to noise and things such as that. So those issues I would think would need to be addressed. And I'm not sure what type of remedies Ms. Gallego would have about abating noise complaints and things such as that. Like, do you plan to have live music at this venue? Is this something
No,
you're looking at?
I don't believe that's in the plan, no. I would like to emphasize the fact that this isn't, the plan here isn't to make it a bar, club type place. This is supposed to be, a pretty nice restaurant serving decent Colombian and American cuisine, so the alcohol aspect of it is not supposed to be the attraction. The attraction is supposed to be the food aspect of it. So we're not expecting, to have a rowdy crowd in this neighborhood. And obviously things can get out of hand anywhere, but that's not the intention here at all. And we don't expect it to be a huge issue going forward.
Very good. Well, how would your client feel about a 30-seat operation to start with? And to see if that was something that, if it went well and the neighbors were not complaining and it was not an issue, that we could revisit it at some point and bump it up, or if need be, take it down. I don't know what your feeling is that on about that, Counselor, but that might be something that would go a little way to getting my colleagues on board with allowing the license to proceed and giving the applicant an opportunity to prove that it would be a very nice establishment and an upgrade for the neighborhood.
With Claudia's permission, I'm speaking because she doesn't feel comfortable talking in English when it's public. If you allow me to talk.
Certainly.
So the whole intention is not to have a bar, as Justin mentioned. It's not going to be a nightclub. It's not going to be live music. It's more like a restaurant bistro where people are going to sit and enjoy a dessert and a drink. Shirley Ave, I've been a long time resident of Riviera for more than 17 years, and Shirley Ave is coming up as a better place for everybody. Like Jamie Russo and a lot of people doing, developers are doing an amazing job in the area. And I feel that this restaurant has been there for 10 years, and Claudia is not have any intention of putting a nightclub and over serving alcohol to anybody. She's got a clean record for more than 10 years serving on a bar in East Boston, but this is not going to be a bar. It's just going to be more like a fancy sitting place that is very needed for this area. And we're very familiar, and we understand that this is school and it's a heavy traffic area, but as you mentioned, she's not going to be serving on, she's going to be open, but it's more like for nights and weekends and enjoyment than during the busy time of the date. We just wanted to make that clarification, and this is going to be a great addition to what is already happening on Shirley Avenue.
Well, thank you very much for that, sir.
I just have one question. Excuse me, Commissioner. I
Yes.
have one question. What will be her hours at this establishment if it were approved? Claudia is going to be the manager and the hours.
Yeah, she is the manager. She's going to be the manager in place. ¿Cuáles son las horas?
8, 10 de la mañana, 2 de la mañana, en el place de allá.
She wants to take advantage of the 10 a.m. to just set up like lunch, breakfast, brunch, type of thing. And so the intention is 10 a.m. all the way to 2 p.m. 2 a.m. in the morning. But if it doesn't work, she's more than I'm okay to do 1 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm sorry, I missed some of that. Was this 1 a.m.?
Yeah, she is, her intention is 10 a.m. to be able to serve lunch or brunch to 2 a.m. in the morning. But if it doesn't work, she's open to open later on during the day.
Very good. All right. Well, I would make a motion to approve this all alcohol restaurant license. And I would make the motion contingent on a 30-seat initial operation and the hours initially of 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. For the for the business operation. And that would be my motion, and I'm looking for a second.
I would second that motion with the conditions, but laid out by the commission.
I would like to be recorded as being opposed.
Very good. Thank you very much. Your opposition is noted. Counselor, would this approval meet with your client's needs, and would this be something that we could work with?
Claudia, what do you think about that? And then you said we could revisit the seating capacity if, at a future date, we hadn't had any issues, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, he agrees with it.
Very good. So the application for an all alcohol restaurant license is approved for Capri LLC. Claudia Gallego as the manager. And this license will be exercised at 1559 North Shore Road, Revere, Mass. The hours of operation for this license will be 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. And the seating will be for 30. These items can be revisited in a few months if things are going well and we have no complaints. And that application and license is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 9, Noah Auto Body Repair and Sales, Inc., 1087R Broadway. Raymond Desamores is the president and manager. This is an application for a Class 2 motor vehicle dealer license. The application of Noah Auto Body Repair and Sales, Inc., for the Class 2 license to be exercised at 1087R Broadway, Revere. The requested number of cars for sale, is 50. And the requested hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Is there someone here from?
Commissioners, at this point, commissioners, I would like to recuse myself from this applicant due for possibility of conflict of interest.
Very good, that's so noted. We'll proceed forward with Commissioner Ochina and I. Is there someone here from Noah Auto Body Repair and Sales, Inc.?
Don McDonald representing Raymond Desamores, the applicant, who's also on the panel.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Can you tell us briefly what it is you'd like to do with this Class 2 motor vehicle dealer's license?
Yes, sir. The applicant is a successful businessman. He's been a lifetime in the auto business with auto sales, auto repair, and also a taxi cab business. He has an existing license in East Boston, but he does not own the property. And at this location, he has purchased the property in July 15th of 2022. Prior to his purchase, we did our due diligence and found that the property is available as a non-conforming use to sell cars. The use of the property can transfer to the new owner as long as the non-conformity of the use is not increased, as per the building inspector for the city. What he wants to do, as you guys are aware of the property, it's near Brown Circle, just north of Brown Circle on the right-hand side. It's been long time use as Kevin's Auto Sales, and he has a 50-car license. The current applicant bought the property. The license did not come with the property. So what he wants, his intention is to improve the property just with cosmetics, fix it up, put his own used car sales in there, sell cars, 50-car license, and sell cars from, as you said, Sunday through Saturday, 8 to 7 p.m.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Commissioner Ochina, do you have any questions?
I just want to inquire about. I just want to inquire, Maggie. Did we receive a formal objection from Action on this?
We have not received a formal objection. However, they are here and will be wanting to speak when the time comes for public speaking.
Okay, so I'll reserve my questions for them. And then Lieutenant Randall, did you receive any reports of any recent incidents on this property?
Daniel, I didn't hear your question. Sorry.
I'm talking to the lieutenant.
I understand.
Sorry about that. Lieutenant Randall?
Yes.
Was there a recent incident at this property regarding a customer?
On the 19th, the Revere Police responded to a disturbance call at the auto sales place. There was a dispute between, I believe it was between Action and auto sales about a fence going up as to where the property line existed. Both parties were referred to court by the police officers who responded. There was no report written.
It appears, commissioners, that there's a disgruntled abutter Action who was intending, I believe, to probably wanted to purchase the property. They did not purchase it, and since that time, they've been. It's my opinion that it's been harassment with respect to the property line. I can show you a photograph where they're blocking the owners and access to the property, and generally just harassing his proposed use of the lot as a continued auto sales business. I'm not sure what the reason is, but we suspect is that they perhaps wanted to purchase the property and were unsuccessful in that regard. And hopefully we can have fast resolutions in the court to get his property line identified, get the property fence reestablished, and work cooperatively with the neighbor to run a successful business and be good neighbors and good citizens of Revere.
Chairman, I'm going to reserve my questions. I'd like to hear the opponents of this.
Very good. We will close this section of the hearing. We'll first move for proponents. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of the issuance of this application for a Class 2 motor vehicle dealer license?
Raymond,
Yes.
excuse me, Commissioner Raymond, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. And I am a businessman. I'm familiar with car dealer license, and then buying cars in the auction, fixed cars, to allow anybody to have a car to go to work. Then when I bought this piece of land, then my neighbor, one of my neighbor, I would say Amelie, she wasn't happy because of she intend to have this piece of property for herself. But the owner of the property did not sell it to her. And then I did not also know if she would like to have it. And then as soon as I signed the purchase and sale agreement, she called me. She asked me to give up to allow her to buy it. And then the reason why I bought it, because in East Boston, where I have a car dealer license, I rent. The property is not mine, but in River, the property is mine. Then that's the main reason that I bought this property. And then because I like to do everything by principles and rules. And then the first thing I did, I hired a surveyor to serve the property. I have copy of my survey, and then I think I offer her a copy too. And then I told her, if you feel that I have more land that I'm supposed to have, you can have your own survey, and then we will have a mediator. And then, but she was not satisfied with that. She broke my main entrance gate with 2 trucks, and then to prevent me, to prevent me to go inside my property. And then when the fence company came to put the fence, then she called River Police. When River Police, came over, and then I show him my, my survey, and then he said, I'm right. And then the worst thing she did, we got and I had an existing fence. She removed it and then put a temporary one inside my property. And then I have this picture here to show. Then, but I understand she's a little frustrated because of she doesn't have this piece of land. Then I will work with her, peacefully, to allow my car dealer license to be functional.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that explanation, sir. Commissioner Ochino, do you have any questions for this gentleman?
Not at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll close this section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to the issuance of this Class 2 motor vehicle dealer license? I don't see or hear anybody. Maggie, was it someone?
Chairman, yes, he's in, but I think he was transferring at the
Just
time.
muted.
So that's
There
you.
we
I
go.
need to reiterate your comment.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michael Zachariah, Action Emergency Management. So I have 14 items here of the reason why we oppose it. But first is, we were never, I have another abutter, the manager from PIA Realty Trust. We had 2 direct abutters to the property. We were never notified of this hearing. We found out when the gentleman went to put the fence up on Tuesday. We were not notified by certified mail, which I researched this week, that the direct abutters are supposed to be notified of any hearings. So I don't know if you want to continue with that as that's the case, because I've talked to a few other abutters that were not notified either by certified mail.
All right, well, we'll take that under advisement right now. If you'd like to proceed with the other 13 items, maybe we can.
Sure. So currently, again, I was brought into this on Tuesday when the gentleman showed up to put a fence up, and he had called for the police. The police were actually here again yesterday. Lieutenant Chapman had a long conversation with the gentleman. We showed our plot plan, which when we went for our special license 22 years ago, and his building's sitting on our property. There's an access line through the property. We won't talk about what went on because he's a new owner. We understand that with the previous licenses. But in a short time, we've retained an attorney yesterday, Attorney Kerens, to get involved in this so we can get into court, because there's many issues that we found with the deed. So the deed of his property, the deed that we researched, and again, we had to do some quick work because this happened just in the last basically 48 hours. The deed on his property, he's using 1087 Broadway, 1087 rear. That does not exist. It's Lot E is what he purchased. And on the quick claim deed that I have here from the Registry of Deeds is 1070 Broadway Revere. So, and then we have, like I say, all these documents we can submit if we had more time. We did show up for the hearing on Wednesday, but then found out we showed up at the council chambers that it was postponed. So we have an issue with the address. He's using our address. We're 1087 Broadway. We have an issue with the address we've been dealing with for years with that property, that it wasn't properly subdivided. The building that he's using as an office, a shed, is sitting over our lot line, which we have, like I said, our deed here of our property and PIA's property, the abutter. The quick claim deed here with his address. The property has no currently and has never had utilities, never had water and sewer, never had any type of utilities in there. We dealt with it with an outhouse. It had a porta potty for 22 years. It still has no current working water and sewer utilities. The 50 cars, you can't fit 15 cars on that property. So I don't know where the 50, there's no customer parking where he wanted to put the fence. And the fence company, we have 15 people that are willing to testify on what transpired just this week. 3 from the fence company. He wanted to put the fence out to Route 107. They marked the line over our line, over the sidewalk, out to the street. The police department, Lieutenant Chapman explained to him, you can't put a fence out to a roadway and then fence it in. Let's see here. Obviously, the easement will have to, we'll deal with in court. The easement goes through there. And then like when I researched this and found out about the certified letters, I also saw that if he's going for a new license, you have to go to site plan review and go for a special license because he did not purchase the license with the property. So it is technically, and again, I'm all new at this, the commissioners, I know this is what you do every day, is obviously a new license. But prior to, even without the license, we have many issues here with the property. Going right down to its 1087, which isn't on the deed. He's not even the proper address that he's using there.
Is it Zachariah?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I apologize if I mispronounced your name.
No, it is. Thank you.
Would you agree that a lot of the issues that you raised in your many points should be addressed either in land court or some type of district court action, which I understand is filed?
Yeah, so that's why we retained Attorney Kerrins yesterday. I mean, again, we had to do this all in short notice. We had issues with the prior people that were there. Last year, they issued a used car license. We did not get a hearing notice on that either. They gave the other people a used car license. We had 8 or 9 times the police responded down here for issues with them, and then they were evicted off the property. The property sat abandoned for 8 months. That we had actually cleaned it up because the fence, we have multiple photos, the fence actually rotted out and fell down from a tree pushing over. And that's all other issues, but all the issues we have here with the address, the deed, the lot lines, absolutely, I agree. We're pushing to go right into court. I think his attorney is aware that that's how the police department, Lieutenant Chapman advised them yesterday that this is definitely going to have to go to court, land court, and sort out the address. Like I said, the quick claim, the deed, the new deed of his purchase is 1070 Broadway. So on any of the documents that we have from the Registry of Deeds, none of them show 1087R that we have here.
I can appreciate that, but the application before us today is for a Class 2 motor vehicle dealer license. And I guess my question to you is, what exactly is action as an abutter? What is your objection to us issuing his ability to engage in this type of business activity? Because as the record reflects, this is a business, or this is a property that has always operated in used car sales with the prior owner, Kevin Sales. You even acknowledged on the record that the prior owners were there for many, many years. So what exactly is your objection to us issuing a Class 2 motor vehicle dealer license to this gentleman to engage in that business activity on that property?
We had issues with the
Turn
prior
the camera on, Raymond.
dealer that was here. Our
Turn the
issues
camera on.
were
Just mute your phone, Attorney McDonald. Thank you.
the use of what went on. You cannot fit 50 cars on the property, number one.
Okay.
Our direct issue is they had cars, it would overflow into our property. It was always an encumbrance on our property. They had cars all the way out to the street with the 50-car license. The customers parked here. This went on for 20 years. Sergeant Janino dealt with it multiple times. There's a multitude of record of what the problem was with the dealership. We were told when we went to the city more than once under 4 administrations that it was an existing license. We said, how can you have an existing license? I put my life savings into building the building at Action. I couldn't get a license. We're all licensed here. We have every license that we're supposed to have. I had to build a building. I brought water and sewer in from the Rotary before I could even apply for our license. We had to have water and sewer. We had to do multiple things on our property: fire alarm systems, public safety systems, handicapped access. We were told that was an existing car lot. That's why he didn't have water and sewer. He didn't have safety systems, fire alarm systems, occupancy permits. He was in a shed. So we dealt with it. We dealt with what went on there with Kevin's Auto Sales for years. Now they sell the property. We didn't know it was sold. Like I said, they evicted the other tenants. It was abandoned. So now is where we were told by the city, by our attorney, is our time to raise the opposition of the building, the property, the water and sewer. They had an outhouse here for 21 years that stunk so bad in the summer. We work for multiple law enforcement agencies. Our job's tough enough enforcing what we have to do, but we had to deal with what went on over there with cars all over blocking our access to our doors. We can't respond out with emergency vehicles. We have a heavy rescue truck in the front bay. Those customers, because they had so many cars, were always blocking our bay doors to respond out. We have video footage of what went on, but I don't feel it's going to be a good neighbor if this went on this week. When he first came down a couple of weeks ago, we talked to him. We said, yes, we'll absolutely try to work with you, see what the story is. He never told us what his intentions were, except for he wanted to build an auto body shop and that the city told him he could do it. Never said anything that he was going for a license. And again, we were never notified, and neither were any of the other abutters. So my main concern is the property, the disrepair of the property, the no utilities, and the incumbents that it's had on our facility for 22 years, the way we operate and deal with the agencies we deal with.
Attorney McDonald, response?
Yes, I'd like to respond to the issues. I concur with Daniel, with the commissioner. Most of those complaints, the placement of a lot line for out to the street, certainly no fence guy intended to put the fence out to the street. That's just to place the fence and to identify the lot line. Whether there's a dispute about the lot line, about the place of the shed, the placement of the fence, that has nothing to do with or the ownership of the property. If there's a defect in the deed, that he doesn't even have to be the owner of the property to apply for the license. The license, he's an experienced, well-qualified, successful businessman that's well-qualified to sell cars in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The use of the non-conforming lot, and we'll admit it's a non-conforming lot, it's a GP lot, general business zoning, the same as your lot, is non-conforming to sell cars. However, the use is transferable and identified as transferable by the building commissioner. So he's got every right to utilize that lot as a used car sale for 50 cars. Now, his encroachment on the other guy's lot or whatever they did in the past has nothing to do with this applicant. There's a clear lot line, there's a clear designated lot. His customers aren't going to be parking in your spot, and we expect the same from you. And Action Auto, I have a picture right on my computer I can show you, and Raymond just testified that you guys have been parking and blocking his access to his lot, as opposed to what you're suggesting, and he hasn't even got there yet. You're suggesting that he's going to block your access when the reverse has already been identified. I have a photo right here with one of your things on his property blocking the access after his purchase. So it seems to me that you don't want him for reasons other than that you're not using the lot. there's nothing to do. You haven't said one objection that's based on the use of the lot for sales of used cars, other than that his customers potentially would encroach on your lot, has not happened, and you have and it hasn't even happened. He hasn't even gotten there yet. And he's and for you to suggest that he's not going to run a proper business, he just told you that he rents each spot for the cars that he sells in East Boston. And it's a big difference from owning the lot where you're selling the car. So it's a major upgrade for his business, and he's well qualified, very experienced businessman. He has no intention, and a good citizen has no intention to have any problems with you or encroaching on your business. As far as the facilities go, that use has been a used car lot for many years. He'll take care of putting the facilities in there, whether it's a porta john or whatever he needs to work with the water and sewer that are not existent. If he could get a permit and extend your water and sewer use, maybe he could look at that in the future. However, he's plans on being a good neighbor, and he has the right to use the place as a non-conforming use with that license, and his application is in good order and should be approved.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to add before we have a discussion? We'll close the section of the opponents. We'll close this section. We'll open it up to a general discussion. From what I can see from my position, there are several issues that really need to be addressed. And I think that really what I would be inclined to do is to have an opinion from the building inspector, maybe the city solicitor, and the assessor, Board of Health, regarding the issues raised relative to the property. I would make a motion that we continue this application for a period of 30 days to our next meeting to give abutters who were not notified an opportunity to weigh in one way or the other, and also for us to get an opinion from some of these other city agencies that seem to be pulled into this sphere of this license. I don't know how my fellow commissioner feels about this, but I think from my point of view, that's where I'm inclined to go.
I agree. I think we need to give the abutters a fair opportunity to raise their concerns, as the gentleman from Action just did, and also give us an opportunity to investigate a little bit further the issues surrounding this lot and some of the concerns raised by Mr. Zachariah. I would agree that a continuance at this point is appropriate before a decision is made.
Very good, Counselor. That seems to be where we're going with this. If you'd like to weigh in on that, feel free at this point.
No, I think that's very reasonable. He's objecting. He's raised some issues, mostly with the property, the lot lines and the ownership of the property, but we'll certainly, that sounds like a reasonable result for today's hearing to continue it, and we'll do more work with getting the Board of Health and the city inspector to concur. We do have the building inspectors, a written document from the building inspector identifying the transfer of the use, but we can work harder to get that approved for the other lots, for the other city officials. And we want to, Michael, we want to share that we're there to operate that business. We're going to do everything we can to run a good business and be a good neighbor to you. And our client has no intention of interfering with your business. And he wants to improve the property, work with the city to get the lot going. That's a perfect place for his business. It's been an ongoing used car sales facility for many, many, many years, ever since I've been around in Revere, this area. And there's no reason to not allow, in my opinion, to not allow him to operate a used car sales at that lot. And I can't understand what else could be there. That it's a perfect lot for his business, in my opinion.
Thank you very much, Counselor. I don't think anyone is trying to put your client out of business. We just want to ensure that all of these issues are addressed and that the city is on firm footing when they issue this license, if that is what ends up happening. So my motion would be to have a 30-day continuance. We'll bring this up at our next meeting, which is our October meeting. And that would be my motion.
And I would second that motion.
Very good. This matter is continued until the next meeting of the Revere License Commission in October. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Item number 10, Revere Dandy LLC, DBA Dandy Donuts, 1141 Revere Beach Parkway. David Zion is the LLC manager. This is an application for a common victuals license. The application of Revere Dandy LLC, DBA Dandy Donuts, 1141 Revere Beach Parkway, for a common victuals license to be exercised at that location. The requested hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and the requested seating is 50. Is there someone here from Dandy Donuts?
So there are two of us here today. My name is Dave Polarski. I'm the Vice President of Operations for Dandy Donut Factory Incorporated. I live at 627 Canal Lane in Annapolis, Maryland, and I'll let David Ferrara introduce himself.
Very good, sir. Can you explain briefly what you'd like to do with this common victuals license?
David Ferrara, can you introduce yourself and please introduce yourself to the team? If he doesn't, then I'll explain what we're doing. I might be having technical issues.
You're on mute, Dave.
Thank you. David Ferrara will be the general manager of the location. We are a company, we are a company based out of officially Marblehead, Massachusetts. This location is at 1141 Revere Beach Parkway. We are a diner with fresh made donuts. We're open 7 days a week. The location is in the finishing stages of its build out currently. We will be a combination full service diner, a drive-through, and we obviously have takeaway from fresh made donuts that we produce every day. And the other 50% comes from both dine-in and drive-through business of breakfast sandwich, burgers, omelets, over easy eggs, a limited diner menu.
Thank you very much, sir. Do you have other locations in this area, or where are your other locations?
So we have 3 locations in Florida, and that one of them currently that is in Margate, Pompano Beach, and Deerfield. We had previously a location in Marblehead that is currently recently been closed down. It is on 123 Pleasant Street. The close down was in transition as we start to gear up towards our opening at the location at 1141 Revere Beach Parkway.
Thank you very much, sir. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions of this gentleman?
I have no questions. It looks like a great spot, and I look forward to having another breakfast place around.
Absolutely. And we're looking to put a lot of people to work, so it's going to be great for the community.
I don't have any specific questions. As my fellow commissioner pointed out, it's a great location. I think it's right next to the church I attend. I'm excited to try your donuts over there, and I think it'll be great for Revere to have this twist to a breakfast business.
Excellent.
Very good. We'll close this section of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of the issuance of the common victuals license for Dandy Donuts? We don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to the application of this common victuals license at 1141 Revere Beach Parkway? We don't see or hear anybody. We'll close that section. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any other questions and/or motions that you'd like to make?
I have none.
I have none either.
Very
If there's
good.
no other questions, I'll make a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
Very good. The application for a common victuals license for Revere Dandy LLC, DBA Dandy Donuts is approved. The application is approved to be exercised at 1141 Revere Beach Parkway. David Zion is the LLC manager. This is requested hours of operation and the approval of the operation from Sunday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. with the requested seating of 50. Gentlemen, your application is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Commissioner.
much. Hope to see you soon.
Yes, we'll check that place out for sure.
Are you
Please
guys
do.
open yet? Are you open?
No, but less than a month, we should be open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Very
absolutely.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the applications on the agenda. The next items would be communication. There's a notification from the Massachusetts Alcohol Beverage Control Commission of a return no action for the application for a change of officers, directors, transfer of stock for Revere Restaurant Group, Inc., DBA Tio Juan Margaritas Mexican Restaurant. And that concludes today's agenda. I would make a motion that we adjourn.
I second that motion.
Until when? When is the next meeting?
I'll have to look at the calendar.
October 19th.
Thank you very much, Maggie. I would make a motion that we adjourn till October 19th. That motion has been seconded.
Yes, it's been seconded by me.
Thank you very much. The